Hello everyone, welcome back to She Tried It. I'm Karita, and this is the Wrap Me Up sweater by Knitatude. I'll leave her Instagram right here. This sweater, I have so much to say. Let's start with the pros of this sweater, and I wrote down some notes so that I keep track of everything I wanted to say. But the pros of this sweater, well, no. Let me start with the testers. So I saw this sweater a while ago, and first off, Knitatude put up this picture of the sweater, which I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And let me go back a little bit further. I am a crocheter. I want to make that very clear before anybody watches this video. I am a crocheter who would like to learn to knit. I think I'd like to learn to knit. I feel like throughout this project that went back and forth, I was like, forget it, I don't want to learn to knit, but I think I want to learn to knit. I was fine just crocheting for the longest time until I saw Knitatude's Instagram page, Yarn Stash, I think her name is Smile Hard, and I'm posting pictures here, and Two of Wands, and Jessie Marie. So those people have amazing knit creations, and I was like, okay, well, now after seeing all that, crocheting is not going to be the only thing I know how to do. I have to learn to knit. So I saw this picture from Knitatude, and she was showing the Wrap Me Up sweater, which I thought was gorgeous. But then she showed her testers. These two people, Maya Makes, I honestly don't remember their names, but these two people were her testers, and she showed their pictures, and they were just gorgeous. I was like, okay, I gotta make this. And looking at it, like, it didn't look that complicated. Like, it looked like a scarf with, you know, sleeves. It didn't look that complicated, so I realized that this was something I could do. It seemed easier than a sweater. And keep in mind that the only thing I've knit so far is the tank top that I made quite a few videos ago. It's been a while. I've actually been crocheting so much that I thought I was gonna forget how to knit, but I remembered, and I actually had to watch a ton of YouTube videos to figure out how to make this, but I'll go through that as well. So the first pro is that this is gorgeous. This is an absolutely gorgeous sweater scarf. It's so versatile. In the previous part of this video, I showed you 2 ways you could style it, pretty much. I guess I kind of did off the shoulder, but it's really 2 ways. Either the crisscross to the front or the crisscross to the back. I think I prefer the crisscross to the back. They're both great. They're my 2 favorite ways, but the crisscross to the back, it just seems like it stays on a little bit better, and I just like how it looks a little bit better. But when you get the pattern, Knitatude actually links to a YouTube video that shows you how to style it 5 ways, I believe. But that'll be linked in the pattern. And because it's in the pattern and I want to encourage you to buy the pattern, I'm not going to link that styling video. I think this is very wearable. Sometimes you can make stuff and you're like, oh, I'll never wear this. I could see me wearing this. I mentioned in the previous video how I couldn't wear that other top I made to work because it was so low cut. The back saw out on this, but I think I could wear like a more substantial tank underneath, because this is really like just a bra-like thingy, but I feel like I could wear something that comes all the way down and with thicker straps. I could see me wearing that on a casual Friday. I don't think that's totally inappropriate at all. So I'll definitely be wearing this, totally wearable. I think it's so unique. There was actually a crocheter, I don't remember her name either. If I can, I'll try to link or show a picture of her YouTube video. Maybe I'll link it down below, but she crocheted something like this. As far as I know, there was no written pattern, or I would have bought that and made that, but there was no written pattern. I think it was just like a video tutorial. So I can link that if you're a knitter or crocheter and you don't really want, you could care less what I'm saying right now, but you do like the style of this. There are quite a few, and they're on Etsy too, I think. There are quite a few, if you just look up sweater scarf, there's quite a few patterns for something similar to this. And yeah, those are really all the pros. I also contacted the, this will kind of fall into the cons, but I contacted the designer, which if you don't know Knitatude, she has like a ton of followers. So I asked a question and I was not expecting a response back at all. So the fact that she messaged me back really said a lot about her. In an ideal world, I would love to be a tester for Knitatude in the future. I think I'm on her newsletter for testers, and I've said I'm a beginner, but I don't even know if beginner is the word. Like, I'm lower than a beginner. But yeah, okay, let's get into the cons of this sweater. The cons are, there was just some knit lingo that I didn't understand. There was one abbreviation, I won't say what it was because I'm really big on like designers getting their money. I mean, especially now that I have my own pattern. I've made one sale. Very excited about that. But I do have my own pattern, and I really respect designers and the work that they put into it. So I'm not really gonna say anything about the pattern. So if that's what you're looking for in this video, you will not find it. But there was an abbreviation in the pattern that I just didn't understand, and I Googled it and looked it up, and I kind of guessed what it was, and it turned out not to be that important, honestly. But yeah, that was kind of hard. I feel like just knitting in general, there are just some things that knitters just intrinsically understand that I don't, and I'm like, where did you learn that from? And it's not really clear in the pattern. That's just my thoughts. I feel like crochet is way more straightforward, but again, I am very biased. But that was one thing. Also casting off. Let me see which one it was. So this sleeve, or binding off, casting off, this sleeve you can kind of see. I followed a video, and I'll link it or show it over here, casting off. And it was a very basic cast off, and I actually knit all the stitches, which I'm pretty sure was wrong, because it's not really like, this one is like pretty stretchy. This one is not stretchy at all. Can you tell that? Yeah, you can tell. So yeah, this one's not really stretchy at all, and I think that I did the wrong cast off version, but by the time I got to this sleeve, I had looked up so many YouTube videos about how to do so many things, which I'll get into, that I was just so over it by the time I got to this end that I was like, forget it, I could care less. Like, as long as it stayed, that was all I cared about. I didn't care if it was the right or the wrong way to do it. But yeah, I probably could have done that right. The video that I looked up after the fact, it used like a needle to sew in and out of something, and I just didn't have the brain power to figure out how that worked, so I just did it the way I knew. That was my bad, which is why I'm probably not ready to be a tester for Knitatude yet, but I am gonna get there, I think. I just need to, I don't know what I need to do. I need a tutorial, but yeah. So the other con that I had about this is that it took me so long. So as you may know about my Instagram, I try to be extremely consistent. I actually post every single day. So with that schedule, that gives me, I believe, 9 to 12 days to be able to work on a project. And typically with my schedule before I started this, I was like weeks ahead of schedule. I had so much time on my hands. I was just pushing stuff out. Like, I was crocheting up a storm. I was so ahead of it. I felt great, and I was like, dang, like at this rate, I'm gonna be months ahead of schedule, which is awesome with how I'm organized. I love that. This has now set me back where the day that you're watching this is like a few days before I've finished it. I'm just finishing this. So I'm about to crochet something. It's not gonna take that long. It's with a worsted weight yarn. I'm very excited actually to finish it. But yeah, this took so long. This cuff thing alone, it took me multiple days to finish. And then the longer part took me, I I think this cuff part took me maybe around 5 days. The length part took me a week maybe or something. This I actually finished yesterday. The other cuff I finished yesterday because I had to get this video done today to just stay on schedule, and I have to get started. The next pattern that I'm doing is actually a test, so I really need to get started on that. And I had to finish this up. So yesterday was kind of miserable flying through this. I was over it, I wasn't excited. I had lost my passion. I was just like, what the heck, I hate this. And I'm not even gonna lie, like, it's a beautiful project. It is gorgeous. Like, wearing it, looking at it in camera, I'm just like, this is so pretty, but I was so out of it yesterday. I've been talking to my family and I was just like, I hope I finish today. I started at 6:30 in the morning, starting right here where the cuff starts. I started at 6:30 in the morning and I didn't finish the cuff till 7:30 yesterday evening. So yeah, there was that. Let's see, another con, DPNs. Okay, I'll show a picture of that. When I got this pattern, I think I bought it off Etsy, which, just pro tip, if you can buy a pattern off Ravelry, I wasn't thinking, when I buy stuff, I kind of got into this whole crochet and knit thing looking at stuff on Etsy, so when I go back to buy it, I buy it off Etsy. But really what you should do is check and see if that designer has it on Ravelry, because they do get a little bit more money back from the price that they put up if you buy it off Ravelry. I just wasn't thinking, and I really wanted to post a picture in the review and everything, so I'm sure most designers don't care. If you buy their pattern, they're just grateful, but if you do want to give them a little bit more money, they do get more money off of Ravelry, and I do sell patterns on Ravelry and Etsy. But I got the pattern, and I believe it said it was a beginner pattern, which is another reason I thought that I could easily do this, because if I can make a tank top, I can make the sweater scarf. So I knew there was gonna be things I had to learn, like it's knitting, I'm not a knitter, so I knew there was gonna be things I had to learn, but I guess I saw that you even had to use DPNs, but this picture, nothing about this picture to me looks like a beginner. Like DPNs, I had to buy some from Michael's just to give it away. I've returned those. I hated working with DPNs. That was horrible. I got it. I got through, well, in the picture, I think I went like a few more rows after that. So that's about how much I did knit with DPNs. But yeah, I couldn't do it. It was just, I didn't like the needles. They never fell out or anything like that. But yeah, I didn't like working with that. So the reason I switched over to the circular needles, first off, I didn't know that you could. I thought you had to use the DPNs because she's kind of said you did. You use the DPNs for this part and then you use the circulars for this part. So I guess I thought you had to use them. So I went on to Ravelry and I was just like, is anyone else like struggling with this like I am? Because I was struggling so bad. This is so hard. So I went on to Ravelry and I saw these people like posting their progress, and they were working on the cuff, but they were on circular needles. And I was like, how are they working on the cuff on circular needles? Like I didn't understand how that was even possible. So did a ton of research, and then it's one of those things that once you find it, it's like you see it everywhere and you're like, how did I not know about this? But the magic loop, which every knitter's like, duh, use the magic loop. I didn't know about that. So I used the magic loop, and that is how you work that on circular needles. But yeah, I used the magic loop pretty much for the rest of the cuff part, return those DPNs, and I don't ever see myself going back. The next thing I want to mention is the yarn that I use. So this yarn is gorgeous, and I am so grateful for just this platform. I don't have very many subscribers. I hope I get more, so if you're watching this and want to subscribe, please do. But just with, I don't know, they're just an amazing company. But this is Lion Brand Must Be Merino. And I'll leave the color down below because I don't want to, I think it's gardenia, but I'm not sure. But this color is gorgeous. It's just pretty much like a slightly off-white, but it's very, very pretty. And this yarn was amazing. I used 4 balls. I didn't even use all of the 4th ball, but I got the ball actually sent to me by Yarn Support from Lion Brand, which I'm so grateful for. And when I went through the first 3 balls, everything was great. I was just like, oh my gosh, this thing is so soft. Everything was wonderful, and there were no problems. But it was the last ball. I'll show this picture, 2 issues. The first issue is, when I was opening the ball, there was like, I was trying to pull the end of the ball, and I was like, wait, there's like a bajillion ends. Like I couldn't figure out what the end was. So there was just a ton of ends, and I don't know why that was. So I'm guessing it was a machine error, because the other problem, which I'll show this picture, it was like very split. It was like little pieces where it was thin. And that was only at the beginning of the ball. I thought it was gonna be throughout, and I was like freaking out. So what I was doing was I was just tying a knot and like not using that part of the thin part, because I knew that if it unraveled, it would unravel the whole thing, and I was not doing all this work for it to unravel. So I basically just knot that part out. So yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. And honestly, knowing how Lion Brand is and how they are about their brand, I could have returned the yarn. Even though it was yarn support, I know I could have returned it. But like I said in the previous con, this project took forever, and I'm on a schedule. I'm trying to get stuff posted. I'm trying to get some content out to be consistent, and I just really didn't have time to like wait for another ball of yarn to come. So I just worked with what I had, and it didn't last throughout the whole thing. It was just the beginning. So that was unfortunate, but the yarn was so worth it. I mean, the 3 balls worked perfectly and they were great. The only other thing I'll say is at the end of the row, I had to slip the end rather than do whatever the pattern said. So I slipped it, and that made the edge look a little bit different, but the edge rolls in anyway, so I didn't think that was a big deal. The lessons I learned, because I learned so many. One is from Sheep and Stitch. She is a YouTube channel. Her videos helped me so much with how to actually knit on DPNs. Did she? I think there was another person that helped me with the magic loop. If I can remember that, I'll link it below. But I honestly watched so many magic loop videos. I don't think it was one in particular. But that's the other thing that slowed me down, was I was watching so many tutorials that I didn't actually do the work. I was just learning stuff. But anyways, Sheep and Stitch was an amazing channel, so helpful to get me through this project. And then the other main channel that helped me through this project, which, oh, I love her to death, I'm like addicted to her channel now, is Marley Bird. I love her channel. So she had something called, this was a clue that this was not a beginner pattern, but she had something called the no cuss cast on for DPN needles. I'm like, you need a way to do it where you don't cuss? Like, that's obviously not beginner, but that video was so helpful. That was what I used to cast on. And then she also helped me with knitting on DPNs. And she had a little mini series that she did with her mom, which it was adorable, but she was showing her mom how to knit. And basically you're taking this woman, an older woman who has no idea what she's doing, and you're teaching her how to do something. I thought that was brilliant. Like, I kind of wanted to do something like that with my niece. She's 9, and I'm like, could I record a video and show her how to crochet? I don't want to like steal her idea though. But anyways, I thought that was a brilliant way to teach people, by showing you teaching someone like that. Like, she had the same questions that I had. Like, it was so perfect. I'm probably gonna watch that series again because I didn't get through the whole thing. But I think that's a great thing for anyone who's a crocheter or just wants to get into knitting and learn it. The Marley Bird is an amazing teacher, first off, but oh my gosh, the way she explained stuff, it was absolutely brilliant. It was so amazing. But yeah, that's all the notes that I have on the Wrap Me Up sweater. I love this sweater. I love Knitatude. I love Two of Wands. I love Jessie May. I love Smile Hard. I love pretty much every yarn, or not every yarn, every knit Instagram that I follow. I love their pages. So I really do want to like it. This project was so frustrating. This project was so long. This project it didn't get me off schedule, but it almost got me off schedule. I'm not as advanced above my projects as I would like to be, but that's okay because I learned a lot on this project. I do have another knit project coming after this next crochet one, but honestly, if it takes too long, I might just prolong it because it's not like I have to get it up. I'll just keep working on something else. I also will have another pattern coming in the future. I do have a pattern, the Whole Mood mini skirt. Here's a picture right here, and it is sold on Etsy and Ravelry. I'll link them. I always link them in my video description box. So if you'd like to purchase that pattern, you can. And I have my newsletter. I made that hammock swing, this picture right here, and everybody loved it on Instagram. I got a ton of likes on that picture. So I think it's like the most I've ever gotten, and people thought it was so amazing. And I actually ended up making a pattern for it. So if you're interested in a pattern for that, I'll release a free pattern on how, free written pattern. Watching the video, you could probably make it yourself, but I'll release a free written pattern on how to make that chair if we get the video to 100 views. So make sure to watch that video. And if you are on my newsletter, I ask everybody to sign up for a few videos ago. If you're in my newsletter, you already have the free pattern in your inbox, so just double check your inbox. But yeah, I think that is everything I wanted to cover. In the future, I hope to be a tester for Knitatude. She knows my honest thoughts now. She knows that I actually love her pattern. I've purchased a pattern, I've completed a pattern. But I don't know, I think I may just need to take my time, learn a bit more. I don't think that I'm ready to be a tester. Once I feel very confident in my knitting, then I'll move forward with that, but I don't know. Right now I'm just like, I don't see me knitting anything else. I need a break, you know? It takes so much longer. But I love Knitatude. I hope to be a tester, and yeah, one day hopefully I could be on her IGTV talking about, just stuff that I'm doing, which I'm not really doing that much. She has pretty amazing people, so I'm not really in the category of the people that she's doing right now, but one day I'll get there, But yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Thank you.